Recording.
Started the recording.
Awesome. So welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited for today's event. So we're just going to get started with some introductions. So I'm going to give it to Eric to start off by introducing Ben Global.
Hello, my name is Eric. I'm the president of Ben. And Ben is a worldwide network of blockchain clubs, students, professors, and alumni. You may be familiar with it. If you're not, we started 7 years ago now between a couple of the clubs in the US, MIT, Stanford, University of Michigan, University of Delaware, Penn State. But over the past couple of years, we've really grown internationally. We have 80 different blockchain clubs in the network at 80 different universities, plus thousands of students that are just joining Ben online. We do a lot of different programs with the students. We have a lot of online education, a lot of videos and lessons, tutorials that students can go and do. And we even get a lot of students to help with translating content and creating content with Ben. So we have new videos popping up every week on the Ben YouTube. We have content being translated in different languages, into Spanish, Turkish, Italian, French, all different sorts of languages there. And we also work a lot with students to help with job placement, or if students want to start projects. So there are tons of hackathons happening, tons of conferences happening. We help fly students to hackathons, help fly students to conferences. We help connect them with companies, help connect with alumni, connect with mentors, anything that a student wants to do. So if a student wants to get in the blockchain space through trading, or through being a developer, or through being a community manager or business person, or even like discussing the governance and the regulations around crypto, Ben has resources to help with that. We're very student-led, and from the grounds up, most of the leaders of Ben are recent graduates, and we've all been a part of our own clubs when we were in school. So I went to MIT, I was the president of the MIT Bitcoin Club, and I got involved in Ben through the MIT Bitcoin Club. So excited to see a lot of people here getting involved with Ben Africa through the NUST Club. And we're excited to do a lot more programming with you guys to help you guys with whatever your goals in blockchain are, whether it's blockchain as a hobby or you're considering it for a career for yourselves.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Eric. So I'm just going to quickly introduce Ben Africa. So Ben Africa was founded last year in 2020, and actually the first club to join the Ben Africa network was NUST. And so since then, we've grown. So in Ghana, we now have NUST, we have GCTU, we have University of Ghana. In Nigeria, we have University of Calabar, CrewTech, and we're actually really excited to have just brought on an ambassador and region head for South Africa. So the Ben Africa chapter is really gaining traction. There's a lot of interest, there's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm around blockchain development, around crypto, about kind of not only the local ecosystem, but how it connects to the global ecosystem of blockchain. And so we're really excited to be hosting these series of events with Africa, with our students, today at NUST, and to really help kind of grow the community, because with all of this interest and with all this excitement, we're really proud to be building a network to connect everyone so that, there's a flow from the original idea all the way to, starting a startup or joining, a blockchain organization, and also connecting with community. So building that really strong presence in Africa of developers, entrepreneurs, enthusiasts, traders, and all that. And so we're really excited to be working with local universities, students, and community to foster that. So that being said, I'm going to pass it off to Norbert, who is the president of NUST. And so Norbert, if you want to introduce yourself and your club.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kate. And my name is Norbert Amankwa from KNUST Blockchain Hub here in Ghana. And so the next Blockchain Hub is the first and the current first blockchain society for Ben Africa. We started in 2018, whereby a group of friends and I came together to bring blockchain education to members for free. And so together with some few friends back in the days, we founded this club, and ever since we provided free education for our members. We joined the Blockchain Education Network last year, and with that, we've had a lot of help with educational resources, funding, and also support especially virtual events, and we've learned quite a lot. And so our main ambitions are to provide free education for members, and that is what we stand for. We also have projects that we want to embark on, but most of us are not really developers, and we are now learning, and so we need a lot of hands that are developing, should help us to get our hands on projects that we want to work on. And so the blockchain education network has helped us a lot, and the next blockchain club, being the first club for Ben Africa, is working very hard to provide education across the current country. So currently we have 2 other colleges. I've been talking to leaders of one college. We are trying to amplify blockchain education in that college. And although the pandemic is still around, and so we've not had time to hold virtual events, but we hope that next semester, hopefully that is starting just next week, we will have virtual events. And that will be awesome, because we will invite a lot of speakers around the country, and we invite a lot of schools and students to come and learn about blockchain. What I've noticed over the year is that many people are interested and want to take career paths in blockchain. People like me and my team are very interested in blockchain, and that is where we want to have careers. But we really need skills and mentorship, because some of us have no background in developing, and so we are having it very difficult to develop projects on our own. And so I'll take this opportunity to thank the Blockchain Education Network for helping us, and Stellar too for organizing this event. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, so really excited to get started on today's event with Anke from Stellar, and introducing Stellar Quest and the Stellar Development Foundation. And so just before I hand it over to Anke to start today's event, any questions that anyone has, just feel free to either drop them in the Ben Africa Telegram chat or in the chat here on Zoom. And we're going to leave about 15 to 20 minutes at the end for questions. So throughout the presentation, if a question comes up, like I said, just drop it in the chat, and we'll answer them all at the end. So on that note, I'm going to hand it off to Anke to start today's presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much. So thank you so much all for those wonderful introductions, and for inviting me to this event to speak. It's an honor. Yeah, so to introduce myself, I'm Anke, Community and Events Manager of the Stellar Development Foundation, or SDF for short, where our mission is to leverage blockchain technology to drive equitable access to the global financial system. SDF, just for really briefly, is this non-profit organization founded in 2014 to support the development and growth of the open source Stellar network. So I work for SDF. It's not quite the same as Stellar. As Stellar is the technology. It's open source. Anyone can access it. But yeah, SDF really tries to support the development of the technology, and speaks to partners as well. So yeah. So let's dive into the agenda for the day. First, I'm going to talk a bit about what's at stake, and then what is Stellar, and explain how it works. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about why build on Stellar, and who's Stellar for, the business is actually building on Stellar. After that, we will have I will show you a demo of Stellar Quest, which is really exciting, and a Q&A. And the end. So feel free to, if you have any questions, just drop them into the chat, as Kate already mentioned. So perfect. So to start, what's at stake? Advancements in technology have made it so that information can be shared instantly with anyone in the world, regardless where it came from. But unfortunately, the same thing isn't quite true for money, as you all know. Today's system is slow, costly, and based on models unchanged for decades. Out of the 100 different monetary systems, each has its own unique set of services. You have ACH, SEPA, and there are many more, and connections to parallel systems outside its borders. So these assets all exist in siloed databases across disparate payment schemes, and to interoperate between systems, it takes a lot of time and money. So at its best, today's system is slow. cumbersome, and fraught with fees. At its worst, it also leaves out millions of people who don't have access to traditional infrastructure. Blockchain technology is challenging us to think about money and value in a new way, presenting the opportunity to make it better, more efficient, and more effective. In much the same way that the internet democratized access to information, blockchain can democratize access to the financial system. It can make sending value around the world as easy as sending an email. So Stellar, which is the subject of today's talk, is a blockchain network designed to become the next global payment standard. It's intended to enhance rather than undermine or replace the existing system. So to really understand how Stellar can set that global payment standard and make money as easy as sending an email, I want to explain a little bit about what Stellar is. So at a high level, Stellar is a decentralized open network that connects the world's financial infrastructure. It's a global public blockchain that's built for interoperability and to further financial access and inclusion. So it does that by making money more fluid, thanks to the speed and scale of the Stellar blockchain to transfer value. It also helps to make markets more open, because when financial infrastructure is connected, you have greater geographical and affordable access to markets. Ultimately, this really empowers people because it gives them real ownership of the value in their possession. So how does Stellar work? To understand how Stellar connects the world's financial systems on a single platform, we're going to delve into the following three questions. One, how is value represented on Stellar? What's the technology behind Stellar, and how does value move on Stellar? So let's start with the first one. Stellar allows anyone to create a redeemable, tradable representation of any asset in a few simple lines of code. Often, we call these digital assets tokens. Token issuance is the backbone of the Stellar network. It's how Stellar connects the world's currencies, and it's what Stellar was built for. So you can issue a token that represents anything from corn to gold to an hour of your time as a tutor, for example. But tokens are particularly useful when tied to fiat currencies, such as dollars or yuan or euros. So these fiat-backed tokens are issued by regulated financial institutions, money service businesses, or fintech companies called anchors. Anchors help create a world where the existing financial system is connected to and interoperable with Stellar. They serve as the on and off ramps for the network. So an anchor connects Stellar to a local banking system and handles regulatory compliance by doing things like know your customer, KYC information, so users can make deposits and withdrawals. A user obtains a Stellar network asset by depositing traditional currency with an anchor using traditional rails like a bank, for example. They can then hold that asset in the Stellar wallet or app, use it to make payments, or trade it for other assets on the network. Anchors maintain fiat reserves. So fiat, I mean like more like real money, like dollars or euros or money as you know it. Reserves equivalent to the value of issued tokens, so 1-to-1. So users can redeem them back to fiat at any time. So when people hold the tokens, they can treat them just like traditional money because they know that they're exchangeable for traditional money in the end. And these are some of the anchor services on Stellar all over the world, and with many more in progress. Stellar powers each of these entities and so many more as they are solving the prevalent needs in their regional markets. Each of these entities are all part of the world compromise our ecosystem and are part of the solution that we're collectively building as we seek to create equitable access across to the global financial system. So there is another one, and I wanted to actually go to how does value move on Stellar first. So as I mentioned, there are all kinds of digital assets on the network, and they work together to create a connected global financial infrastructure. That's because Stellar lets you do more than just send assets across the network. It also makes it possible and easy to convert value from one to the other. So value on Stellar can be moved in three ways. The simplest way and the most common way to move value on Stellar is to make a payment. For example, I send dollars and you receive dollars. So instead of sending value to another user, I can also trade an asset I hold for another asset on the network. I sell dollars for euros. Finally, I can combine the two into a path payment, which allows me to send one currency and have the recipient receive another. I send dollars and you receive euros. Trades and path payments are possible because Stellar has a built-in decentralized exchange. So in addition to tracking balances as Bitcoin or Ethereum do, Stellar also tracks and settles trades in a decentralized, ownerless way. So it has a common built-in order books called the Decentralized Exchange, or DEX for short. Every token on Stellar is exchangeable with any other token on the network, and the Stellar protocol itself connects buyers and sellers with each other. So users can submit their bids or asks via the public network via a single simple operation, and every ledger close compatible trades will automatically resolve without the use of intermediaries. So the DEX facilitates universal currency conversion, which is not only great for traders, it's also great for cross-border and cross-currency transactions called path payments. So a path payment on Stellar, what we call it, allows a user to send one currency and have the recipient receive another. This is a powerful innovation for international payments. For example, an American company can pay an invoice in Mexico by spending dollar tokens, while the vendor receives peso tokens. Neither side incurs exchange risk or delays, and both sides get the currency they want. So Stellar automatically finds the best conversion rate via the DEX, and path payments are the fulfillment of Stellar's interoperability promise. Value flows seamlessly from account to account in whatever form is most useful. So now the third one, what is the technology behind Stellar? So Stellar is a peer-to-peer network made out of nodes. Nodes are computers that connect and communicate with one another to keep a common accounting ledger and to approve and ratify changes to it. The network itself is open participation, which means that anyone can set up a node, and decentralized because nodes are run by independent individuals and organizations all over the globe. Nodes keep a common ledger, which is stable, secure, and transparent. Stable because the network is spread over servers and computers all over the world. It doesn't rely on a central server, so it can't be turned off. It's also secure because no one can change the numbers or manipulate the data to their liking. And transparent because everyone can see the ledger and trust that the information is correct. The ledger really tracks ownership, what you own and what you do with what you own. So in essence, it's a public timestamped series of immutable records of data that stores accounts and keeps track of their balances and offers. So every enter that persists on this ledger is tied to a particular account. Accounts are really the central data structure in Stellar and are saved on the global ledger. They hold balances, sign transactions such as payments and account creations, and also issue assets. All accounts need to have a minimum balance in lumens in order to exist. So before we move forward, let's briefly touch on what lumens are. Stellar was made to support digital representations of any currency, but it also has its own built-in token called the Lumen, or XLM, which is its currency code, and are created to fill a very special role in the network. By design, Stellar requires that each account holds a small number of lumens at all times. Also, to deter bad actors spamming the network with a bunch of data, every transaction, whether it comes in payment or account creation, has a very small per transaction fee. Right now, the minimum balance of each account is 1 lumen, and a minimum transaction fee is 0.00001 lumen, which is a very, very small amount. These are small amount to keep Stellar widely accessible, but big enough to discourage large-scale bad behavior. Also, lumens can ease the movement between currencies and path payments because everyone has and needs lumens, Lumens can always be used as a medium of exchange between otherwise illiquid assets. Now, back to accounts. All entries that persist on the ledger are owned by a particular account. And account access is controlled by public and private key cryptography. Every Stellar account has a public key, which always starts with a G, and a secret key, which always starts with an S. The public key is safe to share. Other people needed to identify your account and verify you authorized the transaction. Kind of like how people need your email address in order to send you emails. Your secret key, however, is private information that proves you own your account. It's like the password to your email account. You can use your, and you would never really share your secret key with anyone because once they have access to your account. So secret key is something you keep very safe, very secure, and only use it when signing a transaction. So you use your secret key to sign transactions, as I just mentioned, which you submit to the network to change the state of the ledger. So for example, if you want to make a payment, you submit a transaction that moves part of the balance from your account to someone else's account. Every 3 to 5 seconds, the nodes in the network combine all the transactions submitted to them into a transaction set, and then communicate with one another using a process called the Stellar Consensus Protocol to vote on the validity of that set. So once the nodes ratify a transaction set, it's applied to and changes the state of the ledger. Let's quickly walk through that process to see how that goes. It starts with the ledger. Stellar users, wherever they are in the world, submit transactions to send and exchange all kinds of assets on the network. They can move funds anywhere in the world and convert currencies along the way, thanks to the built-in order books, which I talked about earlier. Then these transactions are bundled into sets, confirmed by validating nodes, and applied to the ledger, at which point they're final and irreversible, and then the whole process starts over. So to summarize, fundamentally, Stellar is a collection of Stellar core nodes, which are computers that keep a common accounting ledger of accounts and balances, listen for incoming transactions, and use the Stellar Consensus Protocol, which is a consensus mechanism, agree to apply a valid set of those transactions to update the ledger. If you want to learn more about the Stellar Consensus Protocol, I won't go into it today since it's a bit complicated, but definitely on our website, you can find all about it. However, most developers don't interact directly with the Stellar core nodes. Rather, they use a program called the Software Development Kit, or SDK, written in their preferred language like JavaScript, Python, Go, and many more. Those SDKs in turn interact with Horizon, which is the Stellar Network API. This three-tiered stack divides responsibilities so each piece of software can focus on a specific purpose. Stellar Core, for example, the software which all the nodes run, concentrates on transaction submission and consensus. Horizon, the Stellar Network API, handles queries and converts network data into a friendly format. SDKs abstract away complexity and offer ergonomic access to a variety of languages. The Stellar Horizon provides a client-facing API for the Stellar ecosystem, making this technology accessible for developers around the world. Those developers and businesses are the ones that are creating the application layer, which you see on top. So why build on Stellar? I've touched on some of Stellar's most compelling features: asset issuance, speed, cost, compliance. Let me spend a minute here sharing some of the features and functionality that I think makes Stellar such a powerful technology. Fast and affordable. First of all, Stellar is transactions are confirmed in 3 to 5 seconds, and transactions on the network for the companies and developers the transaction fees are negligible. So high enough to deter bad actors, but low enough to keep it accessible for global developers. Another key feature I touched on earlier is compliance. Regulations and compliance aren't new to blockchain. Businesses in this space have to follow existing regulations that apply to the function or service they are providing to their users. In the payment space, AML and KYC regulations exist to protect against illicit transactions like terrorist financing, fraud, money laundering, in short, any bad actors trying to hide what they're really up to. So for example, if you created an asset on Stellar and you offer your users a custodial wallet as an on and off ramp to move that asset to and from fiat currency in the real world, Stellar has built-in functionality that makes it easy for businesses on the network to perform processes like KYC and AML checks before accepting deposits or honoring withdrawals. These are built into at the protocol level. So again, easy to access, easy to use, no complicated coding required. The network also has a compliance protocol for sending and receiving institutions to use to share KYC and AML information about senders and recipients of transactions. Developer tools. So Stellar is open source, supports many development languages like JavaScript, Go, Python, you name it, with comprehensive documentation. So it's easy and accessible to get started. Developers can quickly build and operate on the network due to inherent functionality and expansive support resources, which I all mentioned before. So yeah, that means that instead of focusing on the technology, developers can focus on the product they're building. So one last thing I want to highlight is sustainability. Not all blockchains achieve consensus in the same way. As you know, for example, Bitcoin uses proof of work, Ethereum proof of stake. These consensus mechanisms consume enormous energy resources. Stellar's consensus protocol is not any of these. It's the Stellar consensus protocol is based on FBA, which is a federated Byzantine agreement, and means that it requires about the energy it takes to run a server. So one more question left to address. Who is Stellar for? Stellar is open participation, permissionless network. So really anyone can build anything they can imagine on Stellar. But generally it's used by companies and developers offering financial products and services who take advantage of its features to build better solutions to real world problems. To see what that means, we'll start with one of the biggest area of focus for many companies building on Stellar, which are remittances and cross-border payments. So to give a bit of background on how remittances work today, each year over $500 billion of value is transferred cross-border through personal remittances. In most cases, these remittances are transfers of money from foreign workers to family and friends in their home country, sent on a monthly basis. So the typical transaction is about $200 to $300 and average retail cost of these transfers run about 7 to 8%. Sending costs can be as high as 15% when transferring money to people in developing economies. So let's take a look how today's system works. You've got financial institutions as intermediaries, all operating on a different infrastructure and patchworking a solution to get money from point A to B. Settlement times are slow and it can create additional operating costs, which results in service provider fees or costs and built into the FX transaction, ultimately ending up costing more for the customer. The end result is that remittance recipients receive less money. Stellar can eliminate that friction. Remittance service providers, digital money apps, growing fintech companies, and remote traditional banks can and are using this technology to reduce the friction and costs associated with traditional MTOs, correspondent banks, and financial payment rails. With the anchors that I mentioned earlier on the network who take care of deposits, redemptions, and compliance. So let's come back to the anchor map I showed earlier to talk about how businesses are building out these anchor services globally to connect financial infrastructure, specifically in Africa. So several financial Oh, actually, here's, can someone mute their sounds? Because I hear myself.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute.
All right. Yeah, now it's good. Yeah, I was like, oh, I suddenly have
Yeah.
some feedback. No worries. So several financial institutions have established themselves as Stellar anchors, such as Cowrie, Flutterwave, ClickPesa, and Uhuru. Now, customers can use these anchors to send and receive payments at a fraction of what they would pay at a traditional financial institution with faster settlement time. These anchors are also often primed to partner with other anchors, often located in regions with different currencies, thus expanding their businesses to markets they couldn't access before. So on the Stellar network, again, anchors use specific features to offer the ability to make cost-effective cross-border payments to its clients. For example, ClickPesa is a fintech company that aims to simplify the way companies do business in East Africa and beyond. So this is ClickPesa. ClickPesa provides a B2B platform, a payment platform to companies that offers invoicing, payment, and e-commerce functionality. SMEs or small and medium enterprises can create a portal account that connects with their existing bank account or creates an entirely new one, powered by a straightforward and quick KYC process. ClickPesa serves companies currently based in Tanzania, which has been live and operational for several years, Kenya, and Rwanda, which will be operational in the near future. Having ensured that technology is fully compliant and operational on the Stellar network, ClickPesa is now working on direct integration also into top 3 mobile money operators in East Africa. I believe it's Tigo, Vodacom, M-Pesa, and Airtel. This means that ClickPesa is now able to leverage the Stellar network to enable someone to send a payment directly from a bank account in Berlin, for example, to a recipient's mobile wallet in Tanzania. Another anchor on the network is Uhuru. So Uhuru issues a digital version of the South African rand and the Zimbabwean dollar on a Stellar with the purpose of making sending payments within Africa as easy as sending a message. Therefore, they've created Uhuru Wallet. Uhuru Wallet is a WhatsApp-based wallet that allows for sending intra-African payments. It enables people to perform transactions such as person to merchant, cash in, cash out, and also allows it to even pay utility bills and buy airtime. They're currently active in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Nigeria, and are looking to expand to other countries within Africa. So this is really smart because as most of their target market are already using WhatsApp, they have decided to build their app on it, which basically it doesn't take up much space on people's phones. Another company is DStock. DStock is a fintech company that uses buy and sell offers on the Stellar DEX to allow users to obtain stocks. So its goal is really to make investing accessible and affordable to people in emerging markets like Vietnam and South Africa through a borderless digital interface for security tokens built on the Stellar network. As DStock users only require a smartphone to access global financial markets, thanks to the Stellar's infrastructure layer, makes the entire process not only more accessible, but also more efficient. This really creates an opportunity for emerging markets to access financial products they never had access to before, and can improve lives of millions of people while simultaneously creating exciting new business opportunities. So after my presentation, you might think this is great and all, but how can I get involved? How can I get started? So you don't even though I share these businesses, you don't need to be a big enterprise or a regulated financial institutions to start building on Stellar. You can build an app right now, no matter where you are, that takes advantage of those assets to settle real world payments for real world users. No permission required. And so I want to show you some ways to get started. So Stellar has a vibrant community of members from all over the world who are building and excited about Stellar. It's called Stellar Global. It's on Discord. And if you want to connect or have any questions, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help. So I'll drop a link to the Discord real quick in the chat. So yeah, if you have a Discord account, feel free to join this server. It's a great way to learn more. We also have Stellar Quest, which I'll talk about more in a minute. And then we also organize hackathons throughout the year, which you can participate in and build a project. The next one will likely be in the summer. So once that's confirmed, I'll make sure to send along information to Ben Africa and you. Finally, we also host the Stellar Community Fund, which gives people all over the world a chance to kickstart their Stellar-based projects and connect to the thriving Stellar community. So once you've gone through Stellar Quest, you've built projects and hackathons, and you want to really start making your project into a business, Stellar, the Community Fund is your place to grow and receive funding. First, let me show you a demo of Stellar Quest. So Stellar Quest used to be web-based, but on Monday, May 3rd, this new app for Stellar Quest, which I'm about to show you, will go live. So this Monday. So when you download the app on Monday, you'll see this screen. So click on Get Started. So let's walk through it. All right, so what is Stellar Quest? Stellar Quest is a fun and interactive way to learn more about the tech of Stellar. And you can interact directly with the tech, with the developer documents, with several tools on Stellar without needing to know how to code. So it's quite interesting. So to complete a quest, so Stellar Quest actually consists of multiple quests that you can complete. And with each quest, you'll have to create and submit particular transactions to the ledger using various Stellar features like create an account, send payments, and more. By completing quests, you can receive rewards. For every quest you complete, you'll receive an NFT-based badge, which are really cool. And if you complete a quest when the quest first goes live, you can compete against 20 other players to compete to earn XLM. So the faster you complete a quest, the more prizes you can earn. So it's really fun. It's a way to receive some rewards and also learn a lot. So let's walk through the sign up flow real quick so you have kind of an idea how that works. So to sign up, we use a secure key management service on Stellar called Albedo. So you can view and interact with your badges and earnings with a wallet. Albedo allows other apps to request transaction signing and identity verification without ever exposing your secret key, which I talked about earlier. Even though it's very secure, we recommend to create one new account, which you only use for Stellar Quest, just for safety features. And then if you want to move forward, you can click proceed. And then you can set your password. So it's important to remember your password. So I don't recommend forgetting it. Save it somewhere securely and separate from the app. It will then also give you a 24-word recovery phase. This is the backup of your secret key. If you lose your secret key or backup phrase, your account will be lost. So make sure to save this somewhere securely. And also, like this, like if you don't remember what I said, like all of the slides, like when you go through this process, will have information that will also say this, but I'm pointing out the most important things. So once you've gone through this, when you create a password, you can log in with your newly created password. Remember, this is the password you set before, not the recovery phrase. So you log in and then you click proceed. This allows Stellar Quest to view your public key. So when Albedo is connected, you can continue. You can then sign up for Stellar Quest. Make sure you are not or reside in or transfer funds from any of these sanctioned countries or for cryptocurrencies. Then Stellar Quest uses push notifications as an authentication mechanism. So in order to participate in Stellar Quest, you'll need to enable these notifications. You do this by clicking on Enable Push Notifications, and a window will pop up for you to enable it. So once you've enabled push notifications, you can continue. So you just went through onboarding. That's like the largest part of everything. Once you have onboarded, you don't have to do it again. Now let's quest. So first thing you'll see is a countdown to the next quest. I took this screenshot yesterday, so it says 3 days, but as it's on Monday at 8 a.m. ET, it actually is 2 days something. So when you see the time, you can see the time it goes live, what the lobby award pool is, and the lobby size. So if you scroll down, like on the same page, you can also see when the other quests go live. So just so you know, you likely will not be ready for the live challenges yet, as they can be a bit difficult. So to start, we recommend to click on the bottom middle icon that says practice. Let's see. All right, perfect, it's showing up. So in practice, you'll find that you can join the Discord channel, which is definitely something I recommend. It's not the same Discord channel as I just posted in the chat, but you can find it on the app. It's the Stellar Quest Discord channel, where you can connect with fellow Stellar Questers and ask questions if you don't understand something. So there's always a support system. Let's say like you're going through a quest and you're like, oh man, like I really don't understand this part. Definitely ask in this Discord channel and people can help you. So there are 2 foundation sets before the live quests. And these are quests that have been live before, like a few months ago, but are now evergreen content. So you can always access them. To start practicing, start at the beginning. Foundation set 1, quest 1. Quest 1 starts easy. You just have to create an account and you have to create and fund a Stellar account. So when you click on resources, so I'm going to actually change this. One of the resources will be in the developer documents. So these are the documents that contain everything Stellar. They're a bit much, so going through them with Stellar Quest is actually a great way to just tackle a few pages at the time. So this is create an account. And once you read this through, you read, to create a key pair. You'll read about a lot of different things, how to create an account. So now another resource you received in the app is the Stellar Laboratory. And the Stellar Laboratory is a great way to interact with the Stellar network, especially on the test network. So make sure you are on test. When you are on the test network, you don't actually move real value around. That's on the public network, but the test network is a great way to experience with Stellar. And so make sure you're on the test network when you're doing anything to experiment and use Stellar Quest as well. So these are the 2. So the Stellar Laboratory, you can create an account. You can generate a random key pair. You can then fund that random key pair, get test network lumens for free. They're not actually real, so it's just for testing. You can explore endpoints right here, like search up anything that have ever happened in the ledger, well, for the test network. Then it also lets you build a Stellar transaction for the test network. You can sign that and also submit it. So go back to this. So Stellar, so those were the resources you were given, and make sure to click on them. Here actually, like I forgot one page. So these are the resources. So you click on them. Those are the ones I just showed. So let's play. So once you press play, a countdown starts. For practice quests, it doesn't matter too much, but once you start playing in live quests, it does matter. Now, in this challenge, so I'm just going through the first challenge so you can see how it goes. In this challenge, your task is to create and fund a brand new Stellar account with 1,000 lumens on the testnet. So they get you these resources, and it says like the create an account section that I just showed and the Stellar Laboratory. So let's start. Then they also give you a key pair, which you can see right here. This key pair is different from your account key pair, like your actual account key pair. That one's on the public network. but this is a test key pair, so it doesn't matter that you see like these keys. They're on the testnet, they don't actually contain real money. They are used by Stellar Quest to actually measure like if you did the transactions or not. So also, so even though, you know, Stellar Quest, this app is hosted on your phone, we recommend to actually do the, you know, transactions on your laptop since it's a bit easier. So to do this, you can click export keys and share it with your laptop via either email or AirDrop message or any other way that works best for you. So for example, so let's say I just exported this key pair. You can see very nice public key and a secret key. But just so you are aware, this key pair is actually not an account yet. It's just a random key pair. It doesn't yet exist. So only an entry on the ledger can make this account exist, like a payment to the account. So if we go to the laboratory, let me hit create an account, laboratory. I can create another key pair. I can fund this account on the test network using this friendbot tool. Now, this account, which is different from the key pair I just showed you, is on the test network. It's a real account that has been funded, so it hasn't made an entry on the ledger. Now I need to make sure that this account here also becomes a real account, and that's one of the first quest. So to do this, I will need to make a payment from this account, which I just created, to the random key pair on my slide. So to do this, you build a transaction. It says transaction. The source account is means that the public key that I just created. Then for every transaction, you have a sequence number. So you just fetch the next one. Operation type is create account. Then the destination. Now I want to, because this is a random key pair, I want to create this key pair. Oh, I can actually not copy it. That's annoying. Let me just go back to the actual one. So 1 second. So I will just quickly copy it since I just presented it and it won't let me copy. So give me 1 second. In the meantime, yeah, this is because I'm sharing. It's actually taken up all of my bandwidth, but no worries. 1 second. All right, so I'm just going to copy this public key real quick. All right, so, and on this, I've just copied this key. Now I will enter this key into the create account destination. This is the account I want to create. Starting balance, I will do 1,000. All right, now I will sign it. And I actually will sign it. So here is a secret key needed. So because I started this transaction with this key pair, I will also use this secret key. So let's quickly do that. Oh, transaction sign. You paste that, and then you have the sign to the transaction. Then you can submit it to the test network ledger. Submit transaction. See if it works. Yay, transaction submitted. So when you've actually done this, then you check. Oh, you check it. You can click verify solution if you did it correctly. And then you've completed Stellar Quest #1, foundation set #1, and acquire a badge. Now you want to claim your award, and you'll click claim award. You'll have to sign a transaction, which means it makes it possible to receive the badge. It also says potentially unsafe because you are authorizing Stellar Quest to send you this asset. That's why we also don't advise to use the same account or this account for anything other than Stellar Quest. So to proceed, click confirm. You'll have to enter your password. Now you've signed it, you can click proceed with a partially signed transaction. And then you've claimed your award. go back and you'll find you can do more quests like these. To find your award, click the settings icon in the lower right corner, click view badges on Albedo, and here it is. Your SQ0101 is your badge. So if you've earned some lumens for these live challenges, for example, you can transfer the funds to any other Stellar account, like a Stellar wallet or an exchange that supports lumens. I highly recommend completing all the foundation sets quests starting on Monday. And in the meantime, because there's a few days of downtime between this workshop and Monday, I recommend to visit stellar.org to learn more. Does anyone, I know this was a bit longer than expected, but does anyone have any questions?
We can also, if anyone, I know this was first of all, thank you so much for walking through that. Really excited to see the live demo of how to participate in the Stellar Quest. So I know like this was kind of our first more hands-on technical workshop that we've had. And so I know the students are probably just processing everything. There's a lot of really great information. So for anyone that does think of a question or, wants a little bit of clarification, feel free to, drop any questions you have in our Ben Africa chat. And I would also encourage everyone to join the Discord link, the Stellar Discord that was linked by Anke, because what this quest does, presents the opportunity to do is start to get some hands-on experience with some, no-code solutions, start to really understand the tech, understand private keys, understand NFTs, right? I'm sure everyone's heard of NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Here's a really great, opportunity to earn one. And so for anyone who wants to work through the quest, which I would encourage everyone to do, we're going to be providing support in not only our Ben Africa Telegram. So as students work through the quest, any questions that people have, any, troubleshooting issues, we'll be able to help you work through it there. And also, like I said, if everyone joins the Discord link, then you get the opportunity to interact directly with the team on the Stellar Quest side. So you can ask, questions, troubleshooting, or just general kind of general questions like, how do I get started? What does this mean? What does this term mean? All that. So yeah, would definitely encourage everyone to work through the Stellar Quest, not only to begin to understand the technology, but also to begin to meet other community members in the Discord. You can meet other people building on Stellar and start to ideate, oh, I have this idea. Somebody else may be thinking the same thing and they're just looking for a team, or they're looking for someone else to help them work through it. So yeah, really great opportunity to join the Stellar Quest and start to get involved with the Stellar community over on their Discord. And like I said, we'll also be helping people through the quest and any questions they have on the Ben Africa Telegram chat.
Yeah, you put it perfectly.
Yeah, so I want to ask just a quick question. Okay, so thank you, Anki, for this presentation. We've learned a lot, and I think we'll be going through the Stellar Quest and come up with whatever questions we get our hands on. But just a quick question with the first part of your presentation. So with the payment paths, whereby you can send funds in one, is it one token and get it in another token? And is it applicable to only tokens built on the Stellar blockchain?
Yeah, so like path payments are done on the Stellar network. So any asset on the Stellar network with path payments is exchangeable with any other assets on the network. That said, like if you are talking about other assets, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, they're also issued on the network itself. So like Anchor, for example, like we have Anchor on the Stellar network that issues not fiat currency, but Bitcoin, for example, or Ethereum. So, if you, for example, if you want to see how that works, there's a good wallet app called Lobster. Let me see if I can quickly find a link that has all of these assets. So Yeah, so like anyone can issue any asset, so also Bitcoin on Stellar. So that makes it equal. Like 1 Bitcoin on Stellar network is the same as one Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. That's the idea that the anchors really provide. So I hope that helps. Lobster Co is definitely a good one to check out. It has many different assets on there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, also like a good asset, which really speaks about intra-network interoperability is USDC. As you know, like Ethereum has USDC. I think a few other networks have USDC, and Stellar also has USDC. Like a lot of work. It's quite recent still too, but a lot of work is done to really make that more interoperable, like within networks. So that's a really cool development to see.
Awesome. So thank you for your question, Norbert. And we have some questions from the Ben Africa Telegram chat. So there's 2 questions here. So the first one is, will Stellar Quest be available on iOS and Android?
Yes, Stellar Quest will be available on both of those. I think it's not available yet because I think it's only available in test version right now, so not for the real thing. I think like once that's published and also like if you go to the link I just posted, quest.stellar.org, you can sign up for the Discord, and that like there you can find the most recent updates, and also we'll drop links to when it's aired. So once the links are dropped, I believe as for now they're Android and iOS apps.
All right. So next question from the Telegram is, what is the process like for applying to the Stellar Grant Program? What are the requirements?
So I think they mean the Stellar Community Fund. Yeah. So let me just quickly drop a link in. So at the moment, like the Stellar Community Fund's seed fund round 1 is actually closing. So once, here's a link to that. So once there will be more updates about this, and also like in Stellar Global, we will know like the new requirements for the next round. But for now, you can find more information about the submission requirements to this link. So what I would say generally is usually like you would first experience with Stellar Quest, and maybe even like experience with some hackathons, and then the community fund is really meant to really kickstart these projects into businesses. So that's what it's for. There's a nice prize pool like as well. It's not an investment either. But yeah, it's meant for projects who want to really move forward with Stellar. But hackathons are more for experimenting things and are better, like lower entry to things. So definitely share any hackathons that come along. That's the best first way to get started. And then that's it could be a natural funnel into the community funds if you want to hang on. Hope that helped.
Yeah, thank you. And a lot of, as I mentioned before, there's been a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, with our students in Ben Africa to now start building, right? So there's that, there's a great base of understanding of blockchain technology, understanding, the opportunities and the potential. And so now I think, with Stellar Quest, it's a great kind of logical next step to then start building and start putting everyone's, really great ideas into action. So yeah, would really encourage everyone to get started and join the Stellar Quest. So that goes live on Monday. And like I said, you'll have support from not only the Ben Africa Telegram, but if you hop over onto the Discord, there's also a huge community there that you can start getting involved with and ideating through, different ideas and get started on actually building out applications and having them go live, which is really exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just really quick paste a link to the Discord in here from Stellar Quest. It's pretty lively here, so there's a lot of things. I will definitely join this also to get. I am just sending direct messages to Emmanuel. I'm sorry. Wait, how do I change this?
So just go into everyone. It's a little
Yeah,
blue.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
realized I've been just oh, see, thank you for sharing all my links. I was like, why does someone always like repost it? Thank you for sharing. That's really helpful. Otherwise, you would have been the only one that got it. Yeah, and so I think that's right, because like also Stellar Quest is a great way to learn the features and the tech, but also like Ethereum, for example, has its own like language that you need to learn in order to build on it. With Stellar, there you have many SDKs. Like even if you're more like comfortable with JavaScript or Python or any other code language, we have SDKs that that interact with these specific languages. So yeah, it should hopefully like be a little lower entry to build, and hopefully, yeah, you'll enjoy it. It's definitely a fun Discord to be in. So and to play. I even learned a lot myself as well, even though I'm not I don't know how to code.
Awesome.
Okay, so Anki, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Thank you for such a wonderful presentation today. You've helped us a lot today, and you've learned a lot about Stellar. I wasn't expecting all this, but you've really taken us through a lot. Okay, a quick one. How are the validators on the Stellar network incentivized? Looking at how small the transaction fees are. So what keeps them keeping the network secured?
Yeah, definitely. So like that's a good question. So there's actually no incentive to spin up a validator node on a Stellar, no financial incentive at least. So unlike it's different from Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, where if you run like a node on Bitcoin, like you'll do the mining and then you receive a bit of Bitcoin as reward, right? So on Stellar, like the consensus mechanism itself is different. So we don't rely on proof of work, or like Stellar doesn't rely on proof of work or mining purposes, but instead it relies on a Stellar consensus protocol, and where different validators on the network specify who they trust, and then go consensus from there. It's a little bit of a, I would say, like difficult to understand at first, but let me quickly put a, specific documents if you're very interested in how exactly this goes. There is no financial incentive for like, any random user, but if like, let's say you were to build on Stellar and you really want to strengthen the network and have a great always submit transactions very quickly on the network, then, it would be good for you to run your own validator node. So it's really for people who want to strengthen the network, as opposed to people who want to have a financial incentive to run this. So it works a little bit differently. Let me quickly put it's a little bit technical, but if you're interested, this is how Stellar runs. Copy. Oh, I'll send it to everyone in the meeting instead of Emmanuel now. This is a peer-reviewed paper that's done on the Stellar consensus protocol. If you're really interested, so it's a little bit complicated, but it's a good to understand how that works. So hopefully that helps. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Anki.
Awesome. So just looking at the time here, are there any more questions? There's no more questions on the Telegram. Are there any, maybe we'll take one last question from someone in the meeting. All right. So in that case, I'm going to leave the meeting running for a little bit longer, just so everyone has a chance to copy and paste all the awesome links that were posted in the chat. Yeah, so on that note, I'm just going to say thank you so much to Anke, and also to Nust and Norbert and all of the students who joined today. Thanks for working with Ben and Ben Africa to make this event happen. And yeah, really excited to start getting students involved in Stellar Quest and start earning.
Yeah, I'm very excited as well. So hopefully, let me know if you do have any questions. I'm gonna just paste this link for Stellar Global one more time. I pop in here pretty frequently. There are community members that are answering questions. So if you happen to, you're like, oh, you're diving into the stuff, and you're like, it's not Stellar Quest specific. The Stellar Quest specific stuff should go into the Stellar Quest Discord, but it's more like Stellar. It's like, oh, like I want to ask questions, and then like we can answer them. But yeah, thanks so much for hosting me. I hope this helped. I might have like went on a little bit about a lot of information, but yeah, any questions? Like all the information is on our website, so I can read about it afterwards if you're interested. And yeah, thank you so much, and hope to speak at the workshop for you again.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks so much, and have a wonderful weekend. So
You too.
all right, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.